I'm taking my Harley Electra Glide Ultra Classic to meet up and swap for a Kawasaki Vulcan 900. I'm headed to his lake house now to check it out. What happens when you swap motorcycles for a day with your brother?
Else is new. I think that right here and here, and that's about it.
We had an unexpected visitor, a cicada or locust.
Big old locust. He's gone. It's always weird driving a new one for a second or two.
Now I'm getting a feel for the Vulcan 900. I've never been on one. He is explaining the controls to me.
The only deal about this one weird is this spins. Oh wait, is it supposed to spin? No. Oh, it didn't re-glue it? Oh, dang, that's the problem. No.
Turns out the left grip is not glued down tight. This could be a problem.
Okay, do you know, I need to go over that real quick. Okay.
He is not used to a Harley. It doesn't have an actual key, it's a wireless fob, so it only has to be close.
So you'll have to turn the ignition on, and then it's to run, and then start. Okay, and then I think that's about the only.
So now I have a Kawasaki, and he has a Harley.
They usually just park in here to keep.
The first thing I noticed is the exhaust on the Vulcan. It doesn't have an upgrade, so it's quiet, not like on the Harley's Reinhardt exhaust. I'm having trouble already. I shifted in neutral somehow, and I may have started in second.
Yeah, I thought it was in first. I think I started in second. Or somewhere in here.
We are communicating on Sena 30K Mesh Open Network. The 900 Vulcan liquid-cooled V-twin has about 50 crank horsepower and 57 pounds of torque at the crank, weighing in about 550 pounds. Newer models have a few more horsepower and torque. Now this is compared to the Harley around 90 horsepower, weighing in about 880 pounds. So the Harley has more horsepower, but more weight to haul around.
Okay, where's the gas gauge on it? Oh, I see it. Okay, we'll probably have to stop for gas at some point.
It has a fuel gauge and all the essentials. The Vulcan has good acceleration and is comfortable. Very easy to maneuver and turn. It is easy to make the curves, but it doesn't just seem to follow the road without any effort like the Harley seems to do. I could use some highway pegs to stretch my feet out. But this is an easy add. It has the engine guards already. The Vulcan is much cooler than the Harley's Big V twin air-cooled engine because the Vulcan is water-cooled with a radiator. This keeps your legs and thighs much cooler, especially at stops.
Okay, can you hear me now?
The Vulcan 900 is not a bad bike, but I am ready to get my Harley back. Let's see what my brother has to say about the Harley. Okay, he is back on his Vulcan, and I'm back on my Harley. Let's talk about what he says about the Harley. The change in weight was something to get used to, especially because it's been a few months since she has ridden such a large bike like this one. He loves the way it glides around the curves. It seems like you don't even have to steer. You just have to think about it and it goes. The turn signals are one on each side, which makes sense on the Harley. He also appreciated that they are turned off automatically and didn't have to remember to turn off after a turn. He feels the Vulcan lets him sit straight up and the Harley doesn't, and this is his best riding position. He would prefer a shorter windshield on the Harley, but again, this is an easy fix. I have several in the garage. He feels the Harley Ultra Classic is too bulky and heavy when starting and stopping the motorcycle. Turning around or backing up, he is definitely missing the Vulcan. The weight on the Harley can be quite cumbersome. However, once you are moving, the weight is no longer a problem. Thinking back on his comment about sitting upright, this has a lot to do with the windshield height and possibly the seat. I think a shorter windshield would have him sitting more correctly, but I'm not sure. When I was riding the Vulcan 900, I felt the legroom wasn't as good as the Harley Ultra Classic, even though it was reasonably comfortable. The Vulcan certainly has its place in the market. It is a low-price, well-designed machine that gets the job done. If you want a little sport feel, an upgraded exhaust will give you a little rumble to the machine. My brother owned a Suzuki Intruder and it had a really nice sound to it. I think it was an 1100, but not sure. It had a low center of gravity with good torque and a good feel. It is similar to the Vulcan 900. The center of gravity is definitely lower on the Vulcan than the Harley. I think that is why my brother prefers the Vulcan. I can understand that. The lower center of gravity gives you a feeling of control over the bike much more. I used to own a Harley Sportster 883 and it's more top heavy than the Vulcan 900. Now I still prefer the feel of the Harleys, but this is just my personal preference. The Vulcan seems to get pretty good mileage between 42 and 50 miles per gallon. The Harley does not do that well, so the Vulcan can pass many more gas stations than the Harley. I have not had a passenger on the Vulcan, but I suspect it would do okay, but not quite up to the standards of the Ultra Classic. You just sit up higher on the Harleys and the Moto Guzzi California 1400, and the weight is just higher than the Japanese bikes. Even with the negative items, he feels the Ultra Classic is a wonderful ride overall. Thanks for watching our video. Please comment on what you would like to see or not see in a future video. Please subscribe and turn on notifications.